Hello, everybody. Welcome to another podcast of Know and Grow publication. We have been recording and launching podcasts on different topics. And thank you so much for being with us. Today, it's a very special podcast. And today we have Sweta ji Bachhawat from Kolkata. She is a karmic coach and she takes life enhancement workshops and motivational workshops for different platforms and different people around. She has been empowering women in different platforms, training them. She also has her own group of Sakhis where she works for their empowerment. We are very pleased to have you today, Shwetaji. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Chavi, for having me here. Jai Jinendra, everybody.
We are so happy to have you, Shwetaji. And the topic that we are trying to talk about today is it's something that fascinates me a lot. It's silence. What is silence, Shwetaji, and why is it important?
Chavi, if I have to define silence in one word, it would simply be thoughtlessness. If you can put your mind to a state where you are absolutely thoughtless, that is silence. So बाहर का मौन तो obviously हम समझते ही हैं, वो तो silence होता ही है. पर अगर बाहर मौन है और भीतर chatter चल रहा है, mind chatter जिसको हम कहते हैं, तो we are still far away from being silent. So जो हमारी mind wander करती है, उसको जब हम completely focus और concentrate करते हैं कोई चीज पे, तब जाके हमारा माइंड चैटर बंद होता है और वो जो थॉटलेसनेस की जो अवस्था, वो जो अवेयरनेस आती है, that gives you a very deep samadhi bhav. So that is the importance of being silent. If I have to explain in layman terms, silence is also about being acceptable to things. Suppose आपको डेयरी मिल्क क्रैकल खानी है एंड किसी ने आपको 5 स्टार इन दिया कि आपको वही खानी होगी, इस बात को अगर आप एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते हो ना, तो आपके माइंड में चैटर स्टार्ट हो जाती है एंड योर साइलेंस इज डिस्टर्ब. बट द मोमेंट यू एक्सेप्ट, इट्स ओके, it doesn't really make a difference, it's still a chocolate, and you're at peace with yourself. That is silence, and that is why it is important, because it brings you that samadhi bhav. जैसे हम लोगस की स्तुति में भी कहते हैं समाहिवर मुत्तमम दिंतु. Samadhi is the only thing which we are asking from Sid Bhagwan, and that translates into silence.
I understand that you said ki it's not just external, like silence is not just keeping quiet, but it's actually calming your inner chatter. Does this have any physical or mental benefits, silence?
Of course, definitely. See, if you speak to the doctors, if you go through case studies and all, 90% of the diseases are psychosomatic. There is some emotional problem behind every physical disease जो हमें दिखती है. Because we are unable to be silent, being acceptable, it converts into physical diseases. So that acceptance, that silence keeps you off diseases. That's the physical benefit. Mentally, we do a lot of talking about IQ and EQ, but a very important aspect which we forget or mostly overlook is HQ. Can you guess what HQ is? HQ is the happiness quotient. You might be extremely intelligent. You might be the most intelligent kid on the block. But if you're not happy, what is your intelligence worth? So that happiness quotient, वो जो हम जिसको प्रसन्नता कहते हैं ना, जैसे आजादी हमारा जन्म सिद्ध अधिकार है, प्रसन्नता हमारा धर्म सिद्ध अधिकार है. So if you're not happy, then nothing really matters. तो जब आप silent होते हो, आपकी realizations grow करती है. You become more observant. And जब आप ज़्यादा observant होते हो silence में, आपका चित्त शांत होता है. That's how it is inversely proportionate. Loudness and prasannata. तो जो कषाय का उफान आपके भीतर आता है ना, वो अगर आप साइलेंट हो ना, अगर आपको साइलेंस का पावर यूज करना आता है, तो उस कषाय के उफान को आप शांत कर सकते हो, एंड विच अल्टीमेटली रिजल्ट्स इन योर HQ बीइंग हायर.
Right. So, like we talked about silence, and one thing that really it fascinates is the silence of thoughts rather than silence of words, the silence of thoughts. Now, as you said, true silence is not just keeping your mouth shut, but it's actually having your thoughts silenced, right? My question is that forget about thoughts. It's so difficult to keep your mouth shut. How is it possible to have a state where you are at a thoughtlessness state? What is the process to that state?
आपने मन वचन काया हमेशा सुना होगा. 3 योग होते हैं, मन वचन काया. हालांकि हम मन वचन काया बोलते हैं, बट टू बिगिन विथ एनी प्रोसेस हमेशा वो काया से पहले स्टार्ट होता है. आप फर्स्ट मन को कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते हो, पहले आप काया को कंट्रोल करते हो, फिर वचन को कंट्रोल करते हो, तब जाके कहीं आपका मन सधता है. So, if you're asking for like a step-by-step guide on how we can achieve that power, the first place to begin with is kaya. So stay still, absolutely still. So you can begin with practicing of staying still, maybe just for a minute a day, not more than that, just a minute a day, and try increasing that time every day. तो वो जो आप एक एक मिनट करके बढ़ाओगे ना, जिस दिन आप 5 मिनट पे भी पहुंचोगे ना, where you're not moving, and I'm not talking about while you're sleeping, right? I'm talking about fully aware, fully conscious. उस सिचुएशन में कोई भी एक पोस्चर ले लो, it doesn't matter आप सो रहे हो, बैठ रहे हो, लेट रहे हो, anything, stay still. मतलब आपकी सांस के अलावा और कुछ नहीं चलना चाहिए. And it's not easy. It sounds very easy, छवि, कि हाँ बस 5 मिनट ही तो still रहना है. It's not easy. तो जब हम उससे स्टार्ट करते हैं ना, उसके बाद जब हम वचन के मौन पे आते हैं, लिटरली हम जो नॉर्मल डेली लाइफ में कोशिश करते हैं, आधी घंटा मौन, 1 घंटा मौन, वो स्टार्ट करना चाहिए. भले ही 5 मिनट से स्टार्ट करो. आप हफ्ते भर तक सिर्फ 5 मिनट के लिए मौन रहो, एंड यू इंक्रीज दैट टाइम. तो जब काया में स्थिरता आएगी, वचन में स्थिरता आएगी, तब वो जाके आपके मन की स्थिरता में रिजल्ट करेगा. इट हैज टू गो क्रमशः, स्टेप बाय स्टेप. अब डायरेक्टली सोचो कि हाँ बस आज मुझे थॉटलेसनेस अचीव करना है, डजंट हैपन. So that's how you should try achieving that thoughtlessness stage, step by step.
Well, you were saying, I was thinking that we say that silence, we talk about silence and so much, but how this process is a difficult one to actually do it. मतलब हमें लगता है कि हम 5 मिनट चुप बैठ जाएंगे या 5 मिनट फिर बैठ जाएंगे, but I think it is a difficult one to do. And even if we do that part, the thoughts part is something, तो वो तो काफी difficult है, क्योंकि थॉट्स इतने सारे होते हैं, एक से नहीं उधर, उधर से नहीं इधर, एक थॉट पे भी टिकना मुश्किल है. तो वो हाउ इज दिस थॉटलेसनेस स्टेट पॉसिबल है? मतलब मेरा क्वेश्चन आई थिंक वापस वही हो रहा है, बट बिकॉज मुझे ऐसा लगा ये कैसे पॉसिबल है.
See, Chavi, one phrase which we all know is that Rome wasn't built in a day.
Correct.
It's just that I think in today's times, with Swiggy coming in, Blinkit coming in, Zepto coming in, you have everything delivered right in like 5 to 8 minutes. That instant generation. But that patience, that wait is pretty much there. So of course, you have to try one by one. And like I said, kaya se start karke vachan pe aao, vachan pe karke fir man pe jao. You have to give it that time, that consistency in achieving what you are set out to achieve. That is very important.
So we have all heard this phrase a lot of time that silence is powerful than words. How true is that thing, and how silence is powerful than words?
I was reading across something and I came across this line which says, even to fall in love, we need to go through awkward silences. So something that high and deep also needs silence. And even if I have to, back it up with statistics, Dr. Meherbian, communication guru, he said that in a communication, हमें लगता है कि हम शब्दों से communicate कर रहे हैं. Words are only 7%. The communication का जो contribution होता है, words matter only 7%. It's 38% your tone, your vocal changes in tone, and 55% is your body language. So when you're actually speaking, आपकी आंखें बोलती है, आपका body language बोलता है, आपका tone बोलता है. Words really don't matter. ठीक है? So the silence का जो power होता है ना, it's like an 80-20 principle. अगर आप 20% भी अपना दिन अगर silence में गुजार सको, वचन से and मन से, आपका 80% day पूरा enhance हो जाएगा. So it is something which you practice a little every day and the results will be phenomenal.
Talking about the results, what are the changes that one can experience while practicing silence? Which is all, of course, Tino Yogoki, Manvachan and Kaya.
There was a case study which was done, There were 80 people, उनको 40-40 के दो groups में बांट दिया गया था. And they were asked कि एक group, एक cake, दोनों को एक बड़ा सा cake दिया गया था, really yummy looking cake, super delicious. And उनको बोला गया था एक group को कि आप केक खा लीजिए, कट कीजिए और खा लीजिए. और एक ग्रुप को बोला गया था कि you have to wait for 10 minutes before you can eat the cake. ठीक है? तो एक psychological test run किया गया था इस पे. So people who could actually wait, they were discovered to be better decision making. They were better life managers. They were happier in their relationships. Their relationships were long lasting. So this psychological test was actually done कि जब आप wait करते हो ना, आप patience जब सीखते हो, वो जो silence है वो 10 minutes का, जब आपका mind chatter नहीं कर रहा है कि नहीं मुझे केक खाना है, मुझे अभी चाहिए, मुझे wait नहीं करना है, you have the capacity to control that power silence gives you. So that is the power of silence. It is very long lasting. The effects will be very visible once you start practicing it. Then you can see it for yourself. You will be able to see visible changes. People around will be able to see visible changes in your behavior, in your conduct, in your emotional reactions, everything. Once you practice this for a month.
Okay, so as we know that you meet a lot of people and guide them in the process of their life and if they are in trouble. Have you ever felt that there is something different in people who practice silencing more?
Absolutely, totally. एक दो चेहरे की आभा हम बोलते हैं ना, वो बहुत डिफरेंट होती है. जब वो साइलेंस आता है ना किसी भी व्यक्ति में, उस पर्सन में डेप्थ आती है. और जब उस पर्सन में डेप्थ आती है, यू बिकम अ मैन ऑफ सब्सटेंस. दैट इज वेरी विजिबल. आपको दिखता है उस भीड़ में, आपको वो बंदे का ऑरा समझ में आता है कि उसमें कितनी डेप्थ है. So that behavioral changes, that character changes will definitely go and be visible to people in public.
Okay. Now, we talked about process to doing our thoughts, our mind, our body, which you said start with your body and then your words and then maybe your thoughts. Does meditation play any role in, जैसे शास्त्रों में भी ध्यान की बात की गई है, or a lot of times in today's world, meditation is something which everybody is talking about. So what type of meditation, and does meditation play any role in this?
आपको पता है मोदी कितने घंटे काम करता है?
I've heard वो 4 घंटे सोता है.
He works for 18 hours in a day. He does. Even at this age, he works for 18 hours in a day. He sleeps for 4 hours, which leaves us with 2 hours. You know what he does for the 2 hours? Meditation and yoga. It's this 2 hours of meditation, yoga, practicing silence, mon, etc. ये जो पूरा spiritual exercise है, वो जो 2 घंटे करता है, that gives him the power to work that 18-hour a day, which even we will find it difficult. So meditation is actually equivalent to silence. Because meditation, what we are trying to do, हम जिसको ध्यान कहते हैं, हम एक्चुअल में अपने भीतर आ रहे हैं. We are just shutting out everything and हम भीतर झांक रहे हैं. हम खुद के साथ रहना सीख रहे हैं. और जब हम खुद के साथ रहना सीखते हैं ना छवि, हम बाहर के कोलाहल से दूर हटके भीतर आते हैं. टुडे व्हाट डू वी डू? अगर हमको 2-5 मिनट भी टाइम मिलता है ना, हम सीधा मोबाइल उठा के स्क्रॉल करना स्टार्ट करते हैं. हाउ ऑफन आर वी जस्ट observing things? Are we just being with ourselves even for 5 minutes? We need that distraction. We are so used to distraction. ये जो बाहर का कोलाहल है ना, हम इसमें खो जाना चाहते हैं. Not that कि हम खुद के साथ खुश नहीं हैं, but जब हम शांति से बैठते हैं ना, तब हम जब भीतर की आवाज सुनते हैं, तब हमें भीतर से सही गलत की आवाज आती है. एक्चुअल में जो व्यक्ति शांति से बैठा है अकेला और वो प्रसन्न है, यानी वो लाइफ में सही जा रहा है. दैट इज वन वे. वो एक मापदंड होता है, वो एक मैट्रिक्स होता है मेजर करने का कि आप लाइफ में कितने सही और गलत हो. तो अगर आप अकेले शांत बैठ के भी खुश हो, मतलब आप लाइफ सही जा रहे हो, क्योंकि उस शांति में आपकी अंतरात्मा आपसे बात करती है. इट ऑलवेज गाइड्स यू क्या सही है क्या गलत. बट हम उससे बचते हैं, भागते हैं और बाहर के डिस्ट्रैक्शन में, बाहर के कोलाहल में खो जाते हैं. So once you start meditating, you start being antarmukhi, and then you get amazing results.
I want to know what type of meditation हम बैठे हैं. Now it's मतलब initial stage पे तो it's difficult कि हम उस thoughtlessness वाली stage पे जाएं. So we need something to sit with. So what is that we sit with?
See, that is the whole thing. You do not need anything to sit with. You have you. Do you consider yourself as a best friend to somebody? You think you have that ability to be a best friend to somebody? Do you think that, Shavi?
Yes, I do.
अगर आप किसी और के लिए बेस्ट फ्रेंड बन सकते हो, अगर किसी और के लिए आप अच्छी कंपनी बन सकते हो, तो खुद के लिए क्यों नहीं? So you really don't need something to be with. Just be with yourself. And to begin with, like you asked, start watching your breath. Very simple. Just watch you. Just sit. And वो जो एहसास है ना कि आप सांस ले रहे हो, सांस आपके भीतर जा रही है, नासिका से जाके, थ्रोट से जाके भीतर आ रही है, भीतर से निकल रही है. Just watch your breath. Even that will work wonders.
It's I think a little overwhelming to hear because कभी practice नहीं किया, तो we don't know how does it feel like. But I'm sure I and the audiences, after listening to this whole thing, the power of silence, I would put it that way, we would definitely want to try it, experience it, and as you said, there are a lot of benefits, but patience is the key. Work towards it and learn the art of silence as well. One thing also which I was thinking while you were talking is that antarmukhi hona is the word you use, antarmukhi.
Yes.
We did, Sweta ji, we did a few podcasts before this, and no matter what the topic was of the podcast, this one thing has come up in almost all the podcasts, that be antarmukhi, be sit with yourself, understand yourself. And in the world where now there is Instagram, Facebook, where we keep on looking at other people, I think this one thing is something that today's generation would really want to practice, is be antarmukhi. And with podcasts like these, we would really think we can practice that and do it. I would really want to thank you for joining us and for such beautiful insights that you have given us. Um, our whole team would thank you for being a part of Know and
Pleasure.
Grow.
Totally my pleasure. I'm glad you gave me a chance and opportunity to come and speak my mind here.
Thank you so much. Whatever you have said, we would really try to put it in our actions. We hope we reach there someday.
Sure, sure. All the best. Good luck.